Hi guys, we're back, and this is my new Facebook series I'm doing. So we're going to talk about Greg's collar today, and I'm kind of doing this from the perspective of people that haven't had any exposure to the collar. So what we want to think of is really that it is exactly the same as your cell phone set on vibrate, and I know in some of the videos there is a noise. That's just for the videos. That's really nothing to do with the actual collar itself. So what I'm thinking of it as is a communication tool. Bumpers! So when I am giving verbal commands, I am augmenting it with that pager. And I'm giving the commands in heightened reality, and I want you to understand this is heightening the reality. Get the real vibration. But again, if any trainer said to me, I have no ability whatsoever to use this thing here as a communication device for any man, woman, child, or animal, I would say, you're a terrible trainer. If Zach George said there's nothing I could do with a dog with this, Kiko Pup, any of them, I'd say, you're a terrible trainer. You're a terrible trainer. And to these e-collar trainers, the newbies with your pinch collars, your 40-foot long line, and your low-level stem, if you say to me, I'm not capable of communicating with a dog, there is no protocols, it's never been proven that you can communicate with a dog like that, I'd say you're a terrible trainer. So that's what you want to think of. And you know, the way we're doing it is the initial thing that we're thinking of is harnessing the dog's momentum. So if I've got this on the dog, and I'm using the leash as a guide, and that's what I want you guys to think of. That's why we have to have it hooked to this. But if I'm using the leash as a guide, and I've got them in motion, I'm not getting them, I'm not taking a stationary dog and pulling it with this thing. So now I'm harnessing the momentum. That's why I can get these dogs have such a fluid movement. And again, dogs don't get collar-wise. This dog is not saying to itself, and this is something very, very important too that I want to say to people, because you guys know we don't defend the collar. The dog should be indifferent to the collar. The dog should not be excited to get the collar on, because people that would want to defend the e-collar would tell you, oh, it's so excited to get its collar on. I will tell you that that does not win anybody over. That's against the collar. Bumpers, they should be indifferent to the collar. If you're conditioning them right, they're indifferent to the collar. So, and you really should have a 6-foot leash, but you know all I'm saying is give into the pressure of the leash by virtue of that pager. I'm never using a pinch collar. If the dog was to make the leash tight, I can use my nick the same way you would use a pinch collar, except for it would be a lot more efficient. If the dog makes the leash tight, I've got my, yes, that is going to make uneven pressure, because there's people that would tell you you don't want to hook it on there because the stimulus pressure will be inconsistent. Yes, it'll be stronger when the leash is tight. But again, we're working on, you know, teaching it good, and I started to before I could. He made it. But what I want to say now, again, I'm not going to use the pager for a correction. I'm going to harness his momentum. I'm going to get him moving. Bumpers. I've got the pager all. That's why I've got that tight. And he is aware of the leash right there, but the leash was only incidental. That's why you can quickly go to off-leash with this methodology. Quickly and consistently with dog after dog after dog, go off-leash. There isn't any other way to do it. Putting a long line on a dog is not going to get it trained off-leash when we have the knowledge, and I'm going to tell you why. Because of really guys training dogs for field trials is where we garnered this knowledge. We can have reliable off-leash dogs with these tools, but without them you can't. And if anybody says you can, I don't believe you. It's certainly not companion dog trainers, and certainly not in 2 weeks. And this is what I would say to these people that, would tell you they would train a dog in 2 weeks. You're not able to convince somebody to leave a dog with you longer than 2 weeks. Because if all you've got in you is 2 weeks of training, you're not a very good trainer. If you are going to Jeff Gelman to learn how to train dogs, he doesn't even know how to do a train to retrieve. My advice is get out of that school real quick. All right, watch. I'm going to just, it's like, not this again. All right, watch. Our bench is coming around. So now I can do the same thing. Yay! I don't have the leash there. I'm going to watch, I'm going to spin him. Get the spin from, I'm going to go directly away from you. But I'm spinning him with that pager. Get him from the back. Get him from the back. And this is a great big dog. I've also got him started with a little, and I'm going to cue him with the pager. Sit. But I'm harnessing his momentum. I'm doing nothing to shut this dog down. All right, guys, I hope that helps. Stay tuned and see you in real time.